What really moves a man's emotions? Many women believe that men are driven solely by physical desire, but the truth is, there are much stronger emotional triggers that make a man fall in love and genuinely want to be with a woman. These triggers create deep connections, making him see you as someone special and irreplaceable. And when you know how to activate them, he doesn't just get closer, he feels a genuine desire to invest in the relationship. The problem is that very few people talk about this. Physical attraction can catch someone's attention, but it doesn't sustain a relationship. If that were the case, many couples who are madly in love at the beginning wouldn't break up so quickly. What truly makes a man stay and fully commit are the right emotional triggers. When he feels there's something unique with you that goes beyond appearance or chemistry, he forms a bond he doesn't want to lose. This kind of connection makes a man value a woman and fear losing her. And the best part? These triggers don't depend on age, a perfect body, or playing emotional games. They're about understanding the male mind and knowing how to touch the right emotions. The difference between a woman who sparks lasting passion and one who is seen as just a temporary fling lies right here. And it doesn't matter if you're already in a relationship or trying to win someone over. This works at any stage. So, what are these triggers, and how do you activate them? There are 4 powerful emotional triggers that make a man feel irresistibly connected to you. And the first one is something that many people overlook, yet it has a huge impact on how a man feels when he's with you. First trigger, the desire. To be admired men have a deep need to feel admired. This goes beyond ego or vanity, it's about genuine recognition. When he notices that the woman by his side values who he is and what he does, it sparks a powerful emotional connection. Small gestures, like acknowledging his efforts or complimenting an authentic quality, create a lasting impact. And we're not talking about empty flattery, but sincere admiration that comes from truly seeing his strengths. Imagine a man who dedicates himself to his work, his family, or even a hobby he loves. If the woman by his side only points out his flaws or treats his achievements as insignificant, he may feel discouraged. On the other hand, when he realizes she sees the value in what he does, it triggers a strong emotional response. He starts associating this woman with a sense of recognition and respect, something he wants to experience more and more. This need for admiration also manifests in his desire to be seen as competent. From small daily decisions to major challenges, he wants to feel that his actions matter. If he knows that his opinion holds weight and that his presence is appreciated, he feels emotionally secure. That's why something as simple as asking for his advice or acknowledging his efforts can completely transform the way he sees the relationship. Now, stop and think. Have you ever shown admiration for a man without expecting anything in return? Many women don't realize how much this can strengthen a relationship. Leave your answer in the comments and tell me how you handle this in your daily life. But pay attention, there's another emotional trigger that affects men even more, and most women don't realize how much impact it has. Second trigger, the fear of failure. No matter how confident they may seem, many men carry an invisible pressure to always handle everything. Whether in their careers, relationships, or even small daily decisions, the fear of failure is constantly present. He may not openly express this, but this insecurity directly affects his emotions and how he connects with a woman. When he feels like he's failing, his natural response is to withdraw, shut down, or even react with irritation. Now imagine he's going through a serious problem, financial difficulties, an important decision, or a moment of uncertainty. If the woman by his side only criticizes, pressures, or compares him to others, it only reinforces his fear. Instead of drawing closer, he feels even more pressured and emotionally distant. On the other hand, when he senses that he's with someone who understands his insecurities and supports him without judgment, he opens up and trusts the relationship more. Support doesn't mean solving his problems for him, but creating a space where he feels safe. A simple, "I know you're doing your best," can have a powerful effect. Showing that you believe in him, even during tough times, makes all the difference. When a man feels he has a partner who stands by him, not only in success but also in struggles, he develops a much deeper emotional connection. Few women realize how much this fear of failure influences men's behavior. And understanding this can completely change the way you handle certain reactions from him. But there's another trigger that has an even bigger impact. And this time, it's not about insecurity, but something that makes him feel truly essential in a relationship. Third trigger, the feeling of being needed. Men have a deep emotional need to feel that they make a difference in the life of the woman they love. This doesn't mean you need to be dependent or incapable, but rather that he senses his presence has a real purpose. When a man feels he can contribute in some way, whether by protecting, helping, or solving a problem, he becomes much more emotionally connected. This feeling activates a natural instinct for commitment and loyalty. Many women, without realizing it, suppress this feeling by constantly proving they can do everything on their own. Of course, independence is essential, but allowing him to participate and be helpful strengthens the relationship. Something as simple as asking for his opinion on an important matter or accepting his help with a practical task can trigger this emotional response. He doesn't need to be your hero, but he wants to feel that his role in your life has real value. For example, imagine you're dealing with a problem and share it with him, asking for his advice. This gesture not only shows that you trust his judgment, but also makes him feel like an important part of your life. Likewise, accepting an act of care, like when he offers to carry something heavy or handle a complicated situation, strengthens the connection. Small actions like these make him feel essential. Often, men pull away because they feel they have no space to contribute in the relationship. And when that happens, their emotional involvement decreases. But there's another trigger that can be even more decisive in how a man feels in a relationship. And unlike the others, this one has to do with something that most women don't even realize can be such a powerful factor. Fourth trigger, the feeling of freedom in the relationship. It may seem contradictory, but one of the strongest emotional bonds a man can feel actually comes from freedom. Not the freedom to cheat or act irresponsibly, but the feeling that he can truly be himself in the relationship. When a man feels trapped by constant demands or pressured to change his essence just to please, it creates resistance. But when he realizes he can be with someone without giving up his identity, the connection becomes even stronger. This doesn't mean a lack of commitment. It's about balance. A healthy relationship is one where both partners have the space to be who they truly are, without fear of excessive judgment or pressure. Men appreciate women who understand that everyone needs personal time, whether it's for hobbies, friends, or simply moments alone. This space makes him want to be with you, rather than feeling like he's being forced into it. Imagine a man who loves soccer, for example. If he feels like he has to hide his interest or is constantly criticized for it, he will start feeling suffocated. But if the woman by his side respects and even encourages his personal time, he will associate the relationship with something positive and enjoyable. When a man feels he can be authentic without fear of disappointing his partner, he truly commits because he knows he's in a safe and welcoming environment. Many relationships don't end due to a lack of love, but because of a lack of emotional freedom. And interestingly, when a man feels this kind of ease with a woman, he naturally gets even closer. But understanding emotional triggers isn't enough. You need to know how to apply them in daily life to build genuine and lasting connections. How? To use these triggers to create deep connections? Knowing which emotional triggers truly affect a man is just the first step. But what really makes a difference is how you apply them in practice. Small, everyday actions can completely transform how he feels when he's with you. The key isn't to change who you are, but rather to adjust your communication and behavior to create an environment where these triggers are activated naturally. When that happens, the bond strengthens effortlessly. One crucial factor is consistency. There's no point in showing admiration one day and then unfairly criticizing him the next, or respecting his personal space at one moment and suffocating him with demands right after. Men notice these inconsistencies, and if they feel like they're walking on unstable ground, they build emotional barriers. On the other hand, when a woman acts with authenticity and balance, without playing games or using manipulation, he feels secure and opens up more. Another common mistake is trying to force the connection too quickly. Creating a deep bond takes time and patience. If a man feels pressured to open up before he's ready, his natural reaction is to withdraw. The best way to build that closeness is to let him come closer at his own pace. Showing understanding, valuing who he is, and respecting his timing are actions that make him feel emotionally safe. Now that you know how to apply these triggers in daily life, there's one more thing to watch out for, something that can undo all your efforts. Many women, without realizing it, make mistakes that block these emotional triggers and end up pushing men away. And the worst part? Most don't even realize they're doing it. Mistakes that block these triggers and push men away. Many women unintentionally cancel out the emotional triggers that truly make a man connect. Small daily actions can create emotional barriers that push him away, even when strong feelings are involved. The problem is that these mistakes are subtle and often go unnoticed. And when a man feels that something is off, he might distance himself without being able to explain exactly why. That's why it's crucial to recognize these behaviors before they damage the relationship. One of the biggest pitfalls is constant criticism. Everyone has flaws, but if a man feels like he's always being corrected or that nothing he does is ever enough, he will lose enthusiasm. This doesn't mean you should ignore problems or tolerate everything, but rather that you should balance difficult conversations with positive moments. If he feels like he's never appreciated, he will start seeing the relationship as a source of stress rather than joy. Another common mistake is suffocating his individuality. Men need space to maintain their own activities and interests, and trying to control everything he does can be exhausting for both of you. Respecting these moments strengthens the connection because he feels that he's with someone who trusts him. When a man feels like he has to ask permission for every little thing in his life, the relationship becomes a burden instead of a safe haven. And finally, rushing to define the relationship can be a major issue. Emotional connections take time to develop, and pushing for immediate commitment can make him feel pressured. Often, the more a woman tries to force things too quickly, the more a man pulls away. The best approach is to let the bond grow naturally without unnecessary anxiety or excessive demands. Now that you know which mistakes to avoid, it's time to put everything into practice and transform your relationships. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content. And don't forget to watch the next video already on the screen for even more insights to help you on this journey. See you there!